Welcome to this lesson on Python variables. Variables are one of the most important concepts in programming because they allow a program to store and remember information. Think of a variable like a labeled container. You can put data into it, retrieve that data later, and even change it when needed. Throughout this lesson, we'll learn what variables are, how to create them, and how to use them in real Python programs. A variable is a named location in memory that stores data. Imagine 3 boxes labeled name, age, and score. Each box contains a value. In Python, the label is called the variable name, and the item inside is called the value. Variables help us organize information and make our programs easier to understand. Instead of remembering complicated data directly, we can use meaningful names to access it whenever we need it. Creating a variable in Python is very simple. We write the variable name followed by an equal sign and then the value we want to store. For example, the variable name stores the text Maya, age stores the number 15, and city stores Detroit. The equal sign doesn't mean equals like in math. Instead, it means assigns this value to this variable. One nice feature of Python is that we don't need to specify the data type manually. Python figures it out automatically. Once we've stored information in variables, we usually want to see it. To display information, we use the print function. When Python sees print followed by a variable name, it looks inside the variable and shows the value stored there. In this example, Python displays Maya and 15. Printing variables is extremely useful for testing programs and checking whether values are being stored correctly. Variables can store different kinds of data. Let's look at 4 common types. First, strings store text and must be enclosed in quotation marks. Examples include names, cities, and messages. Second, integers store whole numbers, such as 15 or 100. Third, floats store decimal numbers like 3.14 or 72.5. Finally, booleans store only 2 possible values, true or false. These are commonly used when making decisions in programs. Understanding these basic data types is important because different types of data behave differently when we perform operations on them. Variables are called variables because their values can change. Here, the score starts at 80. Later, we assign a new value of 95. When this happens, Python replaces the old value with the new one. If we print the score again, we'll see 95 instead of 80. This ability to update information is what makes programs dynamic. Games update scores, apps update settings, and websites update user information using variables. Variables become even more powerful when we use them in calculations. In this example, we have 2 numbers stored in variables called A and B. We can add them, subtract them, multiply them, and divide them. The results are stored in new variables. This is how calculators, banking applications, and many other programs perform computations. By storing numbers in variables, we can reuse them throughout our code and easily change values without rewriting calculations. Sometimes we want to combine text with variable values to create messages. This process is called string concatenation or string formatting. In this example, we combine a person's name, age, and city into complete sentences. Notice that we use the str function when combining numbers with text. The str function converts a number into text, so Python can join everything together. This technique is commonly used when creating reports, displaying user information, and building interactive programs. Variables become much more useful when they store information provided by the user. The input function allows a program to ask questions and receive answers. For example, we can ask for a user's name and age. Whatever the user types gets stored in variables. One important thing to remember is that input always returns text. If we need a number, we must convert the text using int. This allows us to perform mathematical calculations with the user's input. Python has rules for naming variables. Variable names can contain letters, numbers, and underscores. However, they cannot start with a number, contain spaces, or use special characters like hyphens. Variable names are also case-sensitive, meaning age, and age are considered different variables. Good variable names make programs easier to read. For example, student underscore name is much clearer than simply using X or Y. Choosing descriptive names is a good programming habit. Beginners often make a few common mistakes when working with variables. One mistake is forgetting quotation marks around text. Without quotes, Python thinks the word is another variable. Another mistake is using a variable before creating it. Python can't display a value that doesn't exist yet. A third common error is misspelling variable names because Python treats differently spelled names as separate variables. Even a small typo can cause an error. Careful typing and testing help avoid these problems. Let's review what we've learned. Variables store information and give that information a name. They can hold text, numbers, decimal values, and true or false values. Variables can be displayed, changed, used in calculations, and combined with text to create useful messages. They are one of the most fundamental building blocks in Python and are used in almost every program you'll write. As you continue learning Python, you'll use variables constantly. Great job completing this lesson, and happy coding!